What's going on, my people? Thinking
They
Games
told
in
me
the
bust
house.
out my AP, perfect timing.
Hope everybody's having a good evening. I know it's warm out there today. It's like 90 degrees today, probably hotter than that, around 5 or 6. Today's Thinking Game episode, understanding the minority versus the majority, the reality of understanding power in numbers, sometimes weakness in numbers. Sometimes it give you something to look at, breadcrumbs to understand the level of success, why there are only a few people in this position and why there are more people in that position. The reality of minority versus majority. We talk about some of those things. Um, New housing bill. We're gonna talk about that. Like when you are they really helping or are they really putting people in a disadvantaged position? Talk about that a little bit. And to pick one, Juice or South Central. Which one do you think? Juice or South Central? Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. So let me know in the comments some of the things you've been seeing. I know they was talking about the guy was in Conway, Streamer University. Man, shout out to him, man. He do his thing, but not my cup of tea. Um, and it would have been nice if he'd have went to like UAPB. I think that would have been nice if he would have went there. If he would have went to um PB, ABC, Philander. Probably like if he went to UAPB, he'd be surprised how much traction he would have got if he'd have went there. But that's just my take. And like I say, if you go to Hendrix and you see him, he matches Hendrix College. That's just my opinion. He just matches it. It fits him. But you have to know where Hendrix College is, and you got to know the people that go there to kind of understand what I'm saying. But with that being said, let's get into the slides a little bit. Let's get into that real quick. Thinking Game Podcast. Think, learn, and laugh a little bit, right? Thinking is the key. Your mind is the key to whatever you want to do. If you can't formulate it in your mind to think about it, it's probably not going to happen. Your mindset is everything. Write that down. Your mindset is everything. Without your mindset, you don't even know what you're doing. So, with that being said, let's talk about it. The minority versus the majority. Let's talk about it. If I can get this thing to. If I can get this thing to full screen real quick, what am I doing? What's going on here? Hmm. That's weird. Okay, there you go. All right. What is the majority in the minority? A majority represents more than half of a total, over 50%. The minority represents a smaller segment of the population, 49% or below. Below. So let's say when you think about crime and things that's happening, that's a minority of the people, right? It's not all, it's a minority. Maybe 2%, maybe 5% of the people. When you look at the prison system, majority of the people in the system are of color, are black. So that's when you're looking at 100%, it could be like 60 to 70% of people in there are of color. That's a bad majority. You don't want that kind of majority. in the neighborhoods, majority of the people in the neighborhoods are working people just trying to make ends meet, just trying to survive. And it's a minority of people that do unfortunate things or make bad decisions. Let me know in the comments what you think. When you think about politics, do majority of the people know or only a minority of the people know? Let me know what you think. Do you think more than 50% of the people really know about politics? Or do you think a minority of people know? When you think about education, is majority of people educated or a minority of people that's educated? Remember, without knowledge, you're going to get to a limited amount of money. It's proven. The data says it. I can just say it from my own experience. When I didn't have a degree, I would only be in a certain range. When I got my associate's degree, I started to move up. I got my bachelor's degree, moving up. Now I'm finishing up my master's of business administration, MBA, and that's gonna increase the value as well. So minority and majority. Let's go ahead and get into it real quick. The percentage of people that make it to pro sports. Very important to think about. The percentage of people that make it to pro sports. It says fewer than 2%. That is very low. That's very rare and very low. 2%. Think about that. 2% out of 100%. That means out of 10 people, 2 only gonna make it. Fewer than 2% of NCAA athletes make it to the professional level. And then it goes down even more. It's probably like maybe 0.5%, half of a percent, people have a long career. While major pro leagues do not track player draft chances by race, demographics within these leagues are heavily divided. Fewer than 2% total. Don't even matter the rate. It just says 2% total make it to pro sports from college. Think about in the inner city, how many make it to college? It could be 1%. Still not good. We have to find a way to not only increase that percentage as far as pro sports, but increase the percentage as far as educated athletes as well. Financially literate athletes as well. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. Understanding this requires analyzing high school to pro odds, as well as league specific racial and ethnic compositions. Sometimes we can see it, you can see it with your own eyes. The level of play, the level of talent and skill that you got to have to get to college is great. You got to be great. And to get to pro sports, it got to be even greater. Think about the people who've went pro from Little Rock that I can think off the top of my head. You got ISO Joe, you got Todd Day, you got Moses Moody, you got Sidney Moncrief. But that's only a handful of guys. And there's so many good guys that was good in basketball and football that didn't get a chance. You got about Shabazz. Man, it's a lot of guys who were great athletes, but they didn't get to that next level. It's that 98%. The majority of people don't make it. and you have to understand what you're going up against. So you can work harder. You can even in the summer, while everybody else playing at the water park, you at the field running tires. You at the field running suicides and bleachers and keeping your stamina up. Shout out to T Knight, man, training the young athletes of the future, man. Shout out to T Knight. Shout out to him. But we have to understand about the percentages and about the majority and the minority. We have to. If not, we'll get lost in fantasies, get lost in things of that nature. The odds of going pro, let's talk about it. Let me know in the comments what you think. So let's get into it. The odds of going pro. The odds of any high school athlete making it to the professional level are virtually non existent. The funnel from high school to the pros is one of the narrowest margins in sports. That means it's so narrow. It's like threading a needle almost. Men's basketball. 1% of NCAA players are drafted, and only about 0.03% of high school players reach the NBA. That's not even a percent. Not even 0.5% of high school players reaching the NBA. Football. 1.4% of NCAA players are drafted, which equates to roughly 0.08% of high school players. That's a little bit over 0.5%. It takes something, and you're going against all odds to go pro, just to go to college. That's why I say it's not just talent. You got to have the grades. You got to have the discipline. You got to understand PR. You have to understand how the game is played. Baseball. 4.9%. 4.9% of NCAA players go pro, including minor leagues, or 0.6 of high school players. Baseball, baseball players, I think the infrastructure is there, and it's a higher percentage. Still low compared, but and you got to think all of these are not even a percent in high school. It's not even a percent. Think about all the players you've seen that played in high school, and think about how many of them really just that made it, especially from smaller towns too. You got to be even that much greater. Like when you think about some players like Bo Jackson, he was that 0.8% of people that was gonna go pro, but he had that much talent. He was that astronomical though. So it's good to say I want to go pro, but really understand what you up against and hope that makes you really build not only your talent, but you got to build your body up and you got to build your mind up. So think about the odds of going pro. Man, it's tough. It ain't easy to do. And it takes a lot of sacrifice. And you're probably gonna be doing a lot of things you probably don't want to do, or you're gonna have to change the way you do things that you enjoy doing the things that everybody else not doing. So it's just something to think about. So with that being said, Jay, man, what's going on, bro?
I'm just chilling. Something happened with my camera. Give me a sec.
Go ahead. You good? So let's go to the next slide. The percentage of rappers that are successful. I think this is very important to think about. The percentage of rappers that are successful. Less than 1% of rappers achieve mainstream success or earn a living wage from their music. With over 60,000 new songs uploaded to Spotify daily, the market is highly saturated, leaving the vast majority of artists undiscovered. 1% of rappers achieve mainstream success. 1%. And a lot of times, there are 98% of other rappers who are working just as hard, putting out the music just as much, but for some reason, they are in that majority that don't make it. So you should think about this. What are the chances of me being successful? I understand you feel like you are asterisk to the rule, you're the 1%. I understand the confidence and you got to go into it, but you have to realize at some point, where are you on the board? Are you in that 1% or are you in the 98 or 99%? It's not easy. Success is not easy because it's doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Most people that are highly successful, they do the same thing over and over again. They find a way to make it efficient. They find a way to almost automate it. The 1% of rappers, you got to think most of the 1% are astronomical, either with producing, have a good production team, or super lyrical. So you got to ask yourself, am I in that 1%? You got to be honest about it. Think about how much it takes to earn a living wage from your music. You heard from TLC story, hear all the rap story they signed a bad contract, their first deal. How many rappers get screwed on their first deal and they never get out of their first deal really, or they never make it past their first deal? How many rappers we hear about saying they got screwed on their first deal? I'm telling you, paying attention to the majority and the minority, the reality of it is real. Sometimes you're gonna feel like, and it's a feeling, or it seems like the majority of people that's in your area are doing the crime, are doing, but you're not seeing the whole picture. Majority of adults work, provide for their family, and just trying to survive, keep food on the table, clothes on their back, and shelter over their head, somewhere to lay down. That's the majority. New housing law. Who could benefit from the new housing law? They say first time home buyers, less competition from some large corporate investors, more access to small dollar mortgages. It's going to be interesting to see, is there such a thing as small dollar mortgages? I don't think that exists anymore. I think what's the average mortgage? Let me look on my phone real quick. What's the average mortgage right now? The average mortgage payment. The average U.S. mortgage payment is about $2,329. $2,329. That's the average mortgage payment. That covers principal, interest, and taxes and insurance. For just the principal and interest, the payment averages around $1,738. Let me know in the comments. Do you think they're going to be small dollar mortgages? I don't think it's going to be small dollar mortgages. I don't know. I don't see it. From my own two eyes, I don't see it. Because every time they build new houses, the price goes up. It don't go down. Interest is going up. It's not going down. Renters. Faster Section 8 inspection approvals. Potentially more participating landlords. The only thing about that is if you fast track Section 8 approvals, how safe will those houses be? That's on Section 8. Anybody living in the city know what Section 8 is. And a lot of projects don't exist. They didn't tore down a lot of projects, so now it's moving to houses now. Section 8 housing. It's only a few projects left. And some of these landlords are buying houses and it's just barely a house, just something you can sleep. You can, let's say you lay down and cover your head from the rain. And they pass in Section 8 inspections. And if they're trying to make it faster, do they cut back on what's being inspected? How does that work? Homeowners, home repair grants, and forgivable loans. Who has access to that? How do you get a loan if you don't have any collateral or your credit score is not that great? Or you don't even know how to do it, get a loan, the process of getting a loan. Financing for accessory dwelling units. That means like secondary housing. You got a smaller house on your property. You got your main house and you got the guest house. Maybe that's what that means, something like that. Then the last one is rural and underserved communities. More community bank financing. Rural areas in the country or the outskirts of the city. You think about like, Sweet Home, Riceville, like Granny Mountain area. They consider rural. A lot of rural areas right on the outskirts of the city. They out there. Support for smaller housing projects. I mean, I think that the tiny houses is probably going to take over. Instead of building projects, they're going to build tiny houses. And they're going to be selling those for what you used to could buy a house for, like 80 to 100,000. A tiny house. I don't see them building newer projects. I just see them updating probably project houses, but I don't see them building newer ones though. Project housing is starting to be extinct. It's only a few left. I know they rebuilt Silver City Court. They redid it. And I think they redoing Eastgate too. They was about to tear it down, but they redoing it. But yeah, you're not seeing a lot of project housing kind of floating around them. I think they're about to tear down Shorter Garden too. And I think they didn't get everybody evicted out of there. Shout out to Shorter Garden, man. Shout out to Shorter Garden. So what does not get talked about when owning a home? What is it that don't get talked about when you own a home? Monthly utilities. But guess what? This bill can get you in the house, but can you afford the mortgage and the utilities. That's not including cell phone. That's not. I'm talking about just mortgage, lights, gas, water, or electric and water. Some people don't got gas. They electric and water in your mortgage because you got to pay that monthly. It comes. You have to pay that to keep it going, and it goes up too. What's going on, bro?
Not much. I had some technical difficulties, so I got it worked out.
What's up? Yeah, man. Anything you think about that new housing bill? I'm talking about the majority and the minority, like understanding the numbers. Sometimes they're not in your favor.
Yeah, they're thinking about group dynamics and how it's going to affect everybody, and then how it's going to affect a few people's bottom line. A lot of
Yeah.
few people going to make a whole lot of profit, and it's going to affect everybody. But I guess which group you in depends on how it affects you.
Is it more group or is it more individual though?
No, the good benefits, the big good benefits is in individuals. So right.
Yeah.
But the trickle down, like how is it going to affect you? How is it going to affect traffic? How is it going to affect the price of stuff? How it's going to change the city? That affects everybody. So they affects, but we don't know the long term effects of this change. And I think, like you were saying before, it feels like it's too late. When people catch on to what's happening and they want to protest or they want to vote against it, well, there was 2 votes ago. There was 2 elections ago when that bill came up.
Yeah.
But you want to start making moves when you see the construction sites and pickup trucks driving by your house.
Yep. And another thing they don't talk about when you own a house is break fix stuff. Stuff breaking and you gotta fix it. They don't talk about that. Like I said, they can get you in the house with the new bill. They can get you in there. But when you paying almost $3,000 a month in mortgage and utilities, and then the hot water heater break, can you fix that?
That's what you talk about. You talk about it a lot. Living below your means. If you can afford 3,000, you probably better go 2, 1.5, because things gonna come up. $1,000 here, $1,000 there. If you just barely affording your mortgage, $1,000 can bankrupt.
Boy,
even when you're in the 6-figure range, if you make the noose too tight, I can afford a $900 car note and $3,000 house note. You can on a regular month, not the month you need an oil change and the hot water heat go out.
Boy,
and kids need back to school clothes.
Yep. And
so
boy,
you just as broke as that the person making 20,000.
Boy, for real. And then taxes. They always go up. They never go down.
Never go down.
That's what kill people mortgages now. Because you gotta, I think now it's by law, you have to include your taxes in your mortgage. Because people weren't paying their taxes.
I was in a wonderland the first year I get my house built. Oh, these taxes ain't nothing. It's a breeze.
Boy.
Second year I almost raised $1,000, so and now they taking it out your escrow and everything, they'd rather give you the money back. If you overpay them, they will give it back to you, but we're gonna take it off the top.
So think about those people up north, like I think it was in New Jersey, talking about raising their taxes 20%. That is a lot of money to raise your tax.
And
that's insane.
And up north, everybody showed out and voted, to like their renting for like 10 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They can't adjust the rent prices.
Nope.
they prevented a lot of people from being
Yeah.
homeless.
Yeah.
So they showed up and voted. And they bought themselves a little bit of time.
That's all you can do. Buy yourself some time. I just
Unless
wonder,
you
man, when do
getting the
you
job.
if you know you can't afford to live there, when do you think about like moving somewhere that's more affordable to live? I get it though. If you live in New York, that's where you born and you live there. I guess you kind of figured out how to make it work. But
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess I'm a country boy and I live in Arkansas, but
yeah,
I can't see living in a closet, calling it in an apartment, paying
$3,000 a month,
3,000, 5,000
man.
grand a month, just to say I live in New York. I live
Boy,
in California. I'm living a lifestyle.
yeah,
Uh, I'd rather make a decent wage, pay a decent mortgage, and visit. And, I'll be down
yeah,
there a week or two a year. But a lot of people have to live in those places. That's their home. And
yeah.
when your home costs so much to live, they're moving people out. It's sad. But
And
or you
then
live in the projects.
a tough question is, I think my wife was asking me about this. She was watching a documentary in Louisiana when they was going through Hurricane Katrina,
Yeah.
and they were saying people they didn't want to leave their homes, they didn't want to leave their thing because that's all they had, and they didn't leave when it was time to evacuate, and then people tried to leave and they couldn't get out. And I just want to let people know how hard is it to say, you know what, my life is more important than this house. I'm getting out of here. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't want to. I just want to live. You know what I'm saying? How hard is it to do that for the average person? Because that's a hard decision to make to say, my life is more important than this house. I'm fit to go to high ground, get away from here, because I don't care about that. Like I only got to come back here. I'd rather live and not take my chances and live than drown and probably because ain't New Orleans below sea level, right?
Yeah, that was the biggest problem.
Yeah,
Uh, After Katrina and the cleanup, uh, it ain't so now. Hindsight is 2020. We
right,
looking back, we see death,
right.
but they thought, well, maybe it'll skip over me. Maybe I'll make it. I get chances.
Yeah,
Trying to you'll have better luck scratching the scratch off.
yeah,
Uh, and even if you survive the hurricane, the aftermath, the water, the pollution, and the food, the horrors at the Superdome.
yeah,
But it's just like everything else in life, voting for the president, voting, period.
yeah,
You don't think it's gonna be that bad until it's happening.
yeah,
Until
for
you
sure.
look outside and it's 12 o'clock noon, but it's dark outside.
Mm,
And now you know it's too late,
yeah, boy.
because the streets are flooding. It just don't seem that real. Like even in 9/11, we never expected that to happen, that to
Yeah,
be real. And
yeah,
that's the same type of kind of feeling those people had in Katrina, because me at home, I live in Arkansas. I watched it on TV. It's look pretty bad out there.
yeah,
But we didn't really know how bad, and the
yeah,
people there didn't know how bad until it was on them, and it was
yeah,
too late.
yeah. That's tough,
But
man.
it's raining outside, and you telling me to leave everything. No, it's just a little rain. But
Yeah,
a day later, it's too late.
yeah,
Now you
boy.
see the hurricane, the dark clouds, the floods.
Yeah,
But now it's too late to leave. So when you talking about leaving everything for some light rain,
yeah, yeah. It's crazy, bro. Now we talking about education in the United States. Education levels strongly dictate earning potential. About 38% of the adult population holds a bachelor's degree or higher, while the typical high school graduate makes roughly 48,000 annually. The median salary for bachelor's degree holders exceeds 80,000. I think they doing the whole United States. I don't think they doing one area. But would you say, from my own two eyes, majority is it a majority of people that have degrees or minority of people that have degrees?
Definitely a minority.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
definitely a
38%,
minority.
definitely minority, 38%. Yeah, for sure.
But you can't look at stuff in your own field because you in the master's class, your class is full. You know, every time I go to a graduation, it's full, but that's not everybody. You know,
Right.
it's so many people not there. All the McDonald's workers, Walmart workers, and some of them are pursuing higher education,
Right.
but some people are going to stay there. Uh, but you gotta. Some people know that shit. They know they
Hmm.
can't read good.
Yeah.
So going to college and investing in yourself, that's a waste of money because you can't even read right.
Mm.
You're trying to get an education. It sounds good. Your cousin talking about his education, but you can't read good.
Yeah. So look at
Um,
that. Less than a high school diploma. Less than a high school diploma. Estimated population share 10% that haven't graduated. Is that pretty close?
I think it's more. And
Yeah. I
if
can
we
see that.
got less than 10% of the whole country not graduating high school, I think that's a victory. Because we have a lot of people graduating high school, that's good. But the things you can do with a high school diploma are very limited, So
Yeah, and it says median annual salary $38,300. I'm telling you, kids, that's not a lot of money. It may feel like it when you're 16, 17, but I promise you, when you get in your 20s, you're gonna realize that ain't a lot of money.
and definitely where you live,
Yeah,
places like California, they make more, but everything
yeah.
costs more. So you can say right now I live in Wichita, Kansas, and 38 sound good to me, but it's different for everywhere you go.
And then unemployment rate 6.2%. People that's less than a high school diploma. High school diploma, no college. The estimated population shares 28%. Median annual salary $48,400. You getting there. It's like
Yeah,
you
but
can
you see
kind
the
of
jump, the
you
jump.
can't just spread your wings yet, but you're getting there though. You standing up out the nest. You know what I'm saying?
It takes a lot to get there, but the jump ain't that big.
It's
You
not. It's
know,
only 10,000.
There's 10,000. You are cracking in away, or unemployment, or losing your job away from losing it. But it took a lot to separate yourself education wise from the next tier down. So that's why you got to
Yes.
always succeed.
Some college or associate's degree. Estimated population share 24%. Median annual salary $57,100 to 61,000. They're pretty close. I think when you get to that level, you got to understand how to leverage what you have. Um, I think I was blessed because I remember I was trying to do some other stuff. I was working at the airport, and I had got to that range right before I graduated. I didn't even have the associates yet, just like some college. But I had to sell that dream in the interview. Um, and I took a chance on like being a contractor just to get in the game. But it lasted 3 years, you know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of other people that didn't get a chance to do that or didn't want to do that. They didn't want to take that risk, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's another reason that people don't talk about. Education is good, but if you choose the wrong degree field,
Yes.
you just basically wasted money and time.
Yeah.
Uh, you
100%.
know, You getting hardware design. You trying to design what the computer look like on the outside. It ain't really market for that.
Yeah.
Now you get a specialized skill that nobody's looking for. So you put something on your resume like, what is this? You got an associate's degree. Now you mad at education because you got your associate's degree or you got your certification and it ain't making you no money. And now you down on education. Degrees don't get you nothing. So
Yeah. And
research
then you
degree.
get so comfortable where you at, you really don't want to leave. I mean, I remember I was working at the airport though, when it was some other dudes going for that, and they felt like where they was at was good enough. I was like, nah, I just want to see what the water's like. You know what I'm saying? I always kind of been that way. I like it can't be better. It got to be better than where I'm at now. It got to be. You know what I'm saying? It got to be because I think when I was at the airport being a shuttle driver, probably was making like 38,000 something like that, 35, 38,000 something like that. It wasn't that much. It's terrible, man. But bachelor's degree. Estimated population share 24%. Median annual salaries $80,200. I think they're using the whole United States. I think that's kind of skewed a little bit. I think if it was
But
more 60, I think I'd be more agreeable with if it was 60.
no, but you gotta throw in the variations of where you live, the location,
That's why I said they use the whole
and
United States. Yeah.
and what your degree field in. Some
Right.
degree fields you just if you're a nurse, you're gonna get paid this all across the board, no
Oh,
matter
for
where
sure.
you are. If
For sure.
you get in some tech, you might be below it, and you get in
Right.
other techs, you might be above it. So you
Yeah.
gotta average all that out.
Right.
So you could be. I'd rather roll the dice on that
Oh, for sure.
because it's getting higher in
Right.
all low, mid, and high is getting higher than the
Yeah.
high school diploma. It's a step up.
Then it says advanced degree, master's, professional, or doctorate. Estimated population share 14%. Yeah, it is. It's not a lot of people that really go that far like that. Even though it do be full, but it's still a small percentage as a whole. It's still a minority as a whole
Yeah,
compared to
and I think a lot many people can do it, but when you get there, you specialize yourself. You know what you're going for. It ain't.
right,
I'm just going to school. I'll figure out my major later. Don't you know?
right.
When you a doctor or a lawyer or any high skill job, even in tech, if you're going for your masters or above that, you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, it says median annual salary $102,000
Most
dollars.
of the time, you know the job before you get the education. You
Yeah,
know
for sure.
exactly what job you're going for. That's why
Yeah,
you're getting this degree.
even if you make 100,000 after taxes, you probably bring home what you think about 80 after taxes come out
The more you make,
70, 80.
the more you make, the more they take.
It's like 30% almost, something like that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
man, when you first start bringing home $1,000 checks, or when you first start banking 1,000, and you
Yeah.
look at your gross
Man.
income, and
Boy.
then you look what your check actually is, you
Man.
making $1,000 or
Yeah.
1,200
Yeah.
on your gross. You bring home 6, maybe 7, and that's
Yeah.
on the low end. So
Low
imagine
end.
making a legitimate $10,000 check. Imagine how much they taking out.
Boy. Yeah. Probably bring it home by 8, 7 to 8 after the taxes come out. And that ain't even including if you got kids, insurance, and all that stuff. But boy. So our next slide. Top 5 reasons jobs have high turnover rates. I think you got to pay attention to this wherever you work.
But
Different
Oh,
jobs.
2 pounds.
The number one reason is negative relationship with management. You agree with that?
yes, a lot of people, a lot of workforces, I don't care what the environment is, if it's tech, working at the airport, it's not the job, it's who you choose or who they choose as a manager.
Yeah,
So the
that's true.
managers they're the front line of getting employees in, trained, and keeping them. You know,
Right.
high turnover. Chick-fil-A can be good all over the country, but that one Chick-fil-A in Dumas, Arkansas ain't doing good because they got a good game plan, but they got a bad manager. So they can be the downfall of a winning recipe.
Yeah. I mean, it's some restaurants you go to, you can tell it's bad management because the workers are mood all messed up. The servers don't want to, serve you or whatever, talking crazy. Boy. And
Another sign of a bad manager, you will hear them say, "I don't believe in morale." I don't
yeah,
believe in this stuff like that.
yeah,
Uh, I don't necessarily either. But when you say stuff like that and you're a leader of people, that means your morale is bad.
man, I think morale make a difference. I used to didn't either, but I've seen places that got good morale and they run like a well-oiled machine when the morale is good. But when people start leaving and stuff, another um thing with management too is why did they hire this kind of manager, right? Like why did they hire the anal kind of manager? You know what I'm saying? Why did they hire the douchebag kind of manager? You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that. The person who picked the manager, they picked this manager for a reason, right? When they interviewed this person, they knew this person had this personality. You know what I'm saying? No, but yeah, that's definitely one reason. Number two, lack of trust in organization. Many employees do not feel as if they have a safe environment to suggest alternatives to procedure or believe their opinion matters. I've seen it happen. It does happen a lot. Especially when you're not plugged in. A lot of times you don't trust the organization. Like trusting HR. Why would you trust HR when they work for the company like you do? They get paid by the company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And
That's like
another
trusting
thing
the Fed.
you asked a real good question. I was distracted, but why did they hire a manager like that? Those people are good interviewers. They know
Yeah,
what to say. Their
yes,
resumes are perfect,
yeah,
and they put it on a smile. They put it on a show. They dress code. They say all the right things. Maybe a
mm-hmm,
good manager is a regular person.
yeah,
They talk. They have good interviews. It's not great, but a bad sign to me if a person's interview and their resume too good and they're going. They
yeah,
got all these volunteer hours and they want to be in leadership.
boy,
This always a red flag to me. Uh,
yeah.
but what was
When
your
you think
other
about
thing?
lack of trust in organization, when you think about when you work for a big company or corporation, I mean, how much can you really trust? I mean, it's some companies are so big that the top level people really don't know what's going on. They just know that it's running. You know what I'm saying? Like working at a hospital, you can't keep up with everything. Um, you're not that good. You can't keep up with over 500 employees working at one time. There's no way. Some supervisors can't even keep up with 20 employees they have. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? They just want you to do the job right, so they ain't got to deal with you. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't
But
know the night shift people. I know day shift, but night shift, ooh,
boy,
I don't know them. Uh, and when you hire a bad manager, you have the lack of trust in the organization. So the people at the bottom don't trust the people at the top because they
nope.
think their immediate manager represents the
Right.
uh, a whole company.
Yeah.
So you don't trust them, and like you said, HR. You go to HR with a problem, and then they end up firing you.
And then another thing, lack of trust in organization. I've seen this happen a lot. They'll tell you that you need a bachelor's degree to work in management at this level, but then You find out that the person that's working up there got a high school diploma.
Yep.
You lose trust real fast with HR.
A lot of
HR
trust.
tell you, oh, we don't got any open positions. Then you see an email fly out, so-and-so just got hired or moved up to a new position. I thought I said y'all weren't hired. You know what I'm saying? That happens a lot. You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
Number 3, little room for growth. Some employees feel trapped in their position as if they're employed to just do rather than work. It's a lot of companies though. Like if you get in some of these companies, they're so small they don't have a lot of room to grow. Like when you get that position, that's your ceiling right there. You know what I'm saying? Because the positions that's above you, the people been there so long, they probably trying to retire out, and they probably got another 10 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you just starting, you trying to get to the money where they at, but you have to wait until they retire until you can get into that position. Some people have done that before though.
Yeah.
But you got to
And
realize
they'll
that
promise you a position. You get this position with Jack retired. He retired and hired somebody else. And now you wasted 5-10 years of your life waiting for this position.
That's
And
true.
you know it ain't gonna be open because ain't nobody gonna quit. And this goes back to the trust issue. You know, a lot of these jobs that have low ceiling, it is what it is. You work the job, you know what it is. But when you at a big company and they get a lot of room to grow, but you can't move because the bad manager won't release you to work in another department or give you a demerit every time you are coming up, you can't have no strikes. You know, you almost went a whole year. I was gonna let you transfer, but so.
And then you got all 3 of those combined. When you got all 3 of those combined, negative relationship with management, lack of trust in organization, little room for growth, it's almost like you playing Survivor at your job, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anything you can get, man, anything goes. You know what I'm saying? The politics is crazy.
You can get fired if you have a car accident. Because something happened.
Yeah.
They're gonna fire
you. Yeah.
Because you have that much lack of trust in the organization. You know, you
can some
work.
positions just some positions or some areas of jobs they just come with high turnover, like call centers. Call centers probably is one of the highest turnover because all you're doing is answer the phone. It still get monotonous at some point. You got to answer so many calls a day, listening to people complaining and do stuff like that. And
burnout is real in call centers. I hear a lot of celebrities talk about working. And a lot of times they get good benefits to pull you in. You can work at Amazon or you can work in the call center as air conditioner, blah blah blah. And by the end of the 6 months, you'll be on the keys here.
Yeah, those companies are retail companies, Amazon and Walmart, high turnover, but they bring people in. It's like they may turn over one person to bring 2 more people in.
Yep.
And they starting to feel it too, though, because a lot of people not working like they used to, like especially like younger people. They starting to feel it in the job market now. It's more older people going back to work than it is younger people. You know what I'm saying? You starting to see that. When you start seeing older people at the drive-thru at McDonald's, boy, you in trouble. This person's 70-some years old, man. It's in trouble. You thinking, are they retired? You not retired yet? Man.
And retirement ain't what it seemed like. So you retire, but your job wasn't good when you was working, and now you go from $2,000 a month or $3,000. Now they give you $800.
Right.
And this, I thought I was retiring. And like, no, that's what people working until they 90.
Right.
Because to go from 3,000 to 800.
Yeah. One time a month, not every 2 weeks either. One time a month. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, job doesn't match description. These kind of jobs are tricky because they don't have nothing on paper, or it's not. The words are tricky how they do it. and you can't never get a flat answer. Like, what did this job entail? Like, what am I pretty much? Give me a summary of what I'm supposed to be doing. And they never give you a solid answer. It's always, well, it could change. Do this for right now to further notice, or when you see other duties assigned, that's probably just
Red
about every
flag,
job in
red
Arkansas. Though, other
flag.
duties assigned. You know what I'm saying? um, Definitely, like I know working in IT, I've had positions like that where it's like that how you doing just about everything. 1 minute you're working on servers, next minute you imaging computers, another minute you at your desk, closing tickets. You just all over the place, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had experience in the hospital. Hey, if I'm getting a set amount of pay, I'm doing a set job. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not do this, and you have to train them, and you have to do this and that, and help out with this and make beds. We can pull our own trash, and we can take turns mopping the floor once a week. No,
For sure. But yeah, it's tricky, man. Like when I worked at Walmart, I was working in the men's department folding clothes, but at the drop of a hat, they may call all the men back there to receive it. Now you got to help them unload the truck. You know what I'm saying? Who want to do that? I didn't come work for that, but guess what? When you under the clock and they paying you, that's what you're under the mercy of. The job doesn't match the description. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
That's why it's good to specialize in something. Because when you specialize in something, most of the time the job gonna match just what you specialize in.
yeah, and they don't
And
ask
they
you.
don't.
They don't ask you because the next job is the specialist too.
Yeah.
So
And most of the time, when you specialize in stuff, they won't ask you to do nothing above what they pay you, because then they have to pay you more. You got to think about that too.
and they don't
Sometimes.
want to lose you.
Right. That's true too. Number 5, no incentives except at the management level. A lot of
Oh,
jobs are starting.
you get incentives. We're gonna have a pizza party.
Boy, boy, boy.
I'm a grown man,
What about a
You can
raise though? Nah, we don't do raises, man. You have to get another position to do raises, but
everybody
there is
make
no
fifty
room for
thousand
growth.
dollars a year, but we gonna have
Yeah,
a pizza party from Little
right.
Caesar.
I think the state has mastered these things. Or they do have high turnover because they have jobs all the time. But the only way you get a raise is you have to move up to another position that's 10% more or something like that. But if you start out at 35,000, you will not get a raise in that position unless they do like cost of living. But that's only like a 2% or something like that.
Yeah, trying
The
to get
only way to
rich
get a
off cost of
raise
living.
is you have to move up to another position. That's the only way. It's crazy, but a lot of jobs are kind of doing it now. They kind of took the mold of that from the state.
Yeah, and they get gatekeeping on a lot of those transitional positions.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the next one is pick one: Juice or South Central. If you had to pick one.
I think South Central is a better movie.
Yeah.
Seeing it's so real. It
Yeah.
it almost looked like a documentary to me.
Yeah.
Because I knew them people that dress like that,
Yeah.
uh, talking about jail like that. But as a movie, I like Juice better. It was a story. It was like a come of age story. You can really follow. You get to see Tupac Bishop's character just really go from a kid to a sociopath,
Boy. Boy.
uh, and the journey he took. And even though Bobby Johnson took the journey as well, but I gotta say Juice was more entertaining, a better movie. South
I
Central
like
was
I like South Central. Maybe because South Central is just a little bit more of a steady pace. It wasn't moving super fast. Juice like it was moving fast, boy.
very
Maybe because
fair.
New York like that. South Central, man, it actually like he was in jail. They actually like slowed it down and some of the stuff he went through in jail. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty crazy, but
Had the potato on the heat, it's crazy.
yeah. Is that real? Put a potato on the gun and the side. Can you really do that? I be thinking it's gonna get stuck in the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
Now you cut the potato a little bit. They said it
Yeah.
worked.
Boy, that's crazy. And then when that dude he got him out of trouble, he was talking crazy to him. he hit the wall. He didn't know what he was in jail for. He said, I'm in here for 3 life sentences. He's like, boy, I better listen, man.
Prison is just a place you don't want to go.
Nah, you don't want to go. Definitely don't want
They
to go.
do Chud the Builder finding out the hard way. The internet stuff got him in
Did he
jail.
get convicted? Did he get convicted or not yet?
I don't think not yet, but
He ain't get no bail, yeah.
They forget about you quick, you know.
Real quick.
You know, all them people was rah, and get them out of jail, let them set them free. Let the hype that down a little bit.
So now we're going to talk about self-development again. Another set of careers. You got CDL careers and you got logistics careers. CDL careers like driving trucks, working for Waste Management City, stuff like that, driving the big trucks. Then you got logistics like Union Pacific and stuff like that, like FedEx and stuff like that. Who do you think CDL careers would be a good fit for?
I think people that want to do a little bit of training, not being in school for 10 years, 8 years, 4 years, you know, you get the CDL. You have the variety of working in town, like being a forklift driver or a garbage truck driver, bus driver. Then you get the option to be kind of more so like an entrepreneur or a contractor, self-employed truck driver. You get the versatility without a lot of educational commitment. You know, you don't have to sit in a classroom. You can get started and you can be in your career in a couple of months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. You know, it's not a lot of commitment on it.
You definitely got to be self-driven. And you definitely got to be able to read, because that CDL book is not thin. It's not like no pamphlet. It's almost like a phone book, it seems like sometimes. But if you're self-driven and you're real good with safety or driving like big trucks like that, I think that'd be great. Like I said, you don't have to go to college. You get that license, pass that little DOT test, stay on top of your paperwork, you'll be just fine. Who would the logistic careers be for?
I think of people a little bit more stable. I'm not sure. The education varies.
Yeah, it does.
And especially when you get on at a big company like FedEx or Union Pacific, you can start at the bottom at FedEx. You know, like opening packages or unloading trucks, and then you can go up. The sky's the limit. Especially at Union Pacific, you can be one of the car operators. Then you can be an engineer, and you know you can be the manager, and it's a lot of good benefits with it too. So you can get in on a low level, get the training, and you can be in it. And let's say you have 5 jobs at Union Pacific, but you're still at the same company.
Right.
So now you have 15 years, one company, 5 jobs though.
Right. So we're gonna look at the little matrix chart. So you got CDLs, like I said, you got waste management, you got freight drivers, you need a driver license, the DOT exam. You got the opportunity to own your own truck. Once you work, you can own your own truck and just pick up the trailers and pull it with your truck. And if you're driven, the pay is pretty good with truck drivers. The pay is pretty great. Now you can make up you can make 6 figures a year pretty quick driving truck. You're just gonna be on the road a lot, right? You're just gonna be on the road a lot. Like, what would you say the cons would be for being a CDL driver?
Like you said, self-driven. Do you want to work? You know, do you want to get out there and make load after load? Do you want to make 6 figures? Because you can end up making 30. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, but Mike makes 6 figures. Mike ain't at home though.
Right, that's
true.
Know,
you are not doing what he's doing. You know, your health.
Boy,
can you be disciplined, sitting behind the wheel, doing something, making that money, but you're sitting behind the wheel all day? It's like a desk job with less with worse food options.
Boy. Yeah, because you see him like what was that Desi Banks? he had
Yeah.
the big stomach out with the skinny legs. How the truck drivers be. Or they wear their headset. They always got that McDonald's headset on the whole time, man.
Yep.
Walking around everywhere. They be everywhere with that thing on. You definitely got to take care of your health. If you mess around and do that and you degrade your health, let's say eating all the bad food at the truck stops, and now you can't drive because your high blood pressure acting up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Your ankles swelling all the time.
Boy.
Now you got sleep apnea,
Boy.
narcolepsy. Yeah.
Another good job is working for Waste Management, man. If you drive the dump truck, 'cause this is almost automated now. I mean, they got the pneumatic arm to lift the trash up now. It ain't like back in the day where they had to actually dump the trash, but yeah, it's got the automatic arm now. You just dump it in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you got to probably work your way up. But Waste Management actually pays good money too.
Yeah, and once you get to CDL, I'm a driver. That's what I am. You start off with the driver.
Freight driver, like say you hauling freight. Working for like what ABL, JB Hunt, and all that. I'm pretty sure it's probably. I don't know if you have to drive their trucks or you can own your own. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you can do either one, but it's all kind of choices in when you get your CDL. The next one is logistics. Union Pacific. My son, he go to the train yard almost every other night. It's a lot, man. It's a lot you can do at Union Pacific. It's getting in there kind of sometimes can be the hardest part though, getting on. And it's better to start young to get on. So you may not get on the first time, but you may get on the second or third time. But you got to be willing to travel though with Union Pacific too. Because you might have to go to Missouri 1 month, you might have to go down to Louisiana another month, and you might have to go to Texas another month. You know what I'm saying? But the pay is great. The benefits are great. Things I'm saying it's hard to get fired from Union Pacific. You almost got to do something crazy to get fired from Union Pacific. You know what I'm saying? Because of the union. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard people be on the job high on cocaine. They couldn't get fired because of the union. Bailed them out. You know what I'm saying? You know how dangerous that is, man. You on the job site, man.
I didn't know more dangerous than taking 2 Red Bulls.
Boy. Then you got warehousing. Like I say, our boy Peel, he work at a warehouse. You got like beverage like Coca-Cola, Glacier, all that. The beer places like Budweiser and stuff like that. You got all kind of stuff out there, man. The milk place, all that kind of stuff. You can get on. Those are the kind of jobs you can start, like Jay said, start at the bottom and work your way up. You got to have a formal education, high school diploma, probably some mechanical skills if you want to work for Union Pacific. Warehousing, interpersonal skills. That means communication, being able to work with other people, especially if you want to move up. Room to grow within the company. You still got to develop tough skin with navigating both of those because they probably gonna talk crazy to you when you first start. Yeah, that's just how it go. Kind of like rookie hazing. That's just kind of how it go. Keep yourself in shape, especially at Union Pacific, because they up on their feet most of the time. Welding, working on trains, changing the tracks, the points and stuff like that is pretty crazy. And then I think the thing is, if you can do this is what separates people. Being able to multitask, working and go to school at the same time. How can you pull that off? It's not easy because you sacrifice a lot of your free time. But if you can do it, you can pull it off, you will see gains at the end, I promise you.
Yeah, and it's more motivation to do what you want to do. Right. Going to school because your mama think you should be a doctor, there ain't a lot of motivation in there. But you like trains? You going to school to work on trains or be an actor? I hope you don't be an actor. But, what you want to do, if you can see your career path, it doesn't seem that bad,
Right. So, I think this is our last slide. Yep. The verse of the day. Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Proverbs. No, that ain't Proverbs 14. That's another. That's in John. What do you think that verse mean to you?
Man tells you no. People, your mama, your cousins say what you can't do, but the opportunities and your potential is endless if you put your trust in God. Because there's a lot of places I get that they said I can get, that I said I can get,
Right.
but God said something else.
Right.
So try, even though if you don't know what it is, if you don't know, the job ain't guaranteed once you get your education. If it's in you to get it, and then see what happens. Do your part, because God always gonna do his.
So it's one thing to read these words, it is another thing to believe these words. When I see it said with God all things are possible, there are some things in life that if you let it, if it dictates your thinking, you won't believe this verse. You'll believe it sometimes, but you won't believe it all the time. Like if you struggle with forgiving somebody, and if you don't go to God, you won't do it. If you struggle with anger issues and you don't go to God, you can continue to struggle. Even if you struggle with mental health issues, if you believe in these words, you can overcome your issues with God if you believe in these words. But the beauty of that is nobody can make you believe. You have to believe for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't nobody beat you with a Louisville Slugger and make you believe it. You got to believe it yourself, or it won't make sense to you. But I am a witness that with God, all things are possible. Like I said, I'm not the most academic person in the world. I understand patterns and I understand how things work, and I use that to my advantage. But am I like an academic scholar? Nope, I am not. But I understand with God, all things are possible. And people that be saying, like I said, they don't want to use AI, you're not believing in these words. Through God, all things are possible, man.
Use your tools.
Boy,
Uh,
use it.
and like you said, people want from God, So
Yeah.
people don't want to work on an angle.
Right.
They want the money, they want the education, they want the better life, but they
Right.
don't want to work on their problems. That's why they're not getting better.
Right.
That's why you beat every woman you with, because you
Boy.
get the anger problem. You don't want
Yep.
help with it. That's
Right.
cool with you. That's
Right.
normal. But you asking God to help you with everything else. But He's
Right.
trying to make you see, trying to better you. So
Just remember that therapist is cool. Therapy is great, but just understand with God, all things are possible. Just remember that. So with
and
that being said,
God's affordable for everybody as well.
yes, 100%. Always available. Check us out, Thinking Game Podcast. On Mondays. Sometimes we do it on Wednesdays, but just check us out in the evening. Be on the lookout. Subscribe. CTM TV, Little Rock on all platforms. Thanks for watching. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here, bro?
Hey, just watch. Show us some love.
Thanks for watching Think Game Podcast, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.